Have you ever stared at a really dense page of text and your brain just shuts down? Yeah, we've all been there. In this explainer, we are going to unlock 4 simple but seriously powerful graphic organizers. These are the tools that are going to help you decode and totally master any complex text you come across. It really is a big jump, right? When you get into high school or college, it's not just that the reading assignments get longer, the language itself gets way more complicated. We're talking about words and concepts you just don't run into in everyday life. And the real challenge, it comes from what are called Tier 2 and Tier 3 words. Think of Tier 2 words like analyze or evaluate as the verbs of academic life. They're everywhere. Then you have Tier 3 words. Those are the super specific terms for just one subject, like photosynthesis in biology. Getting a handle on both is the absolute key to unlocking these texts. So here's our game plan. We're going to cover everything from decoding texts and mastering words, all the way to weighing evidence and summarizing. Stick with me, and by the end, you're going to have a complete toolkit. Okay, so let's dive into decoding texts. Why are we so focused on these organizers? Because this isn't about just getting through one assignment. Nope. This is about building a real, actual academic superpower that you can take with you into any class. History, science, you name it. First up, mastering words with the Freyer model. We're going to start small, with just a single tricky word. You know the kind I'm talking about. The one that just stops you dead in your tracks. Well, that's exactly when you should pull out the Freyer model. See, a dictionary just gives you a definition. The Freyer model, though, it forces you to really truly understand a concept from every single angle. And here's the secret sauce. It makes you define what the word isn't. And honestly, that's often the best way to figure out what it actually is.
So, how's it work? It's easy. You just pop the term right in the middle, and then you fill out the 4 boxes around it. But the real magic, the part that gets your brain working, is when you get to the examples and the non-examples. That's what really forces you to think critically about the boundaries of that word. Just take a look at the word expectations. The contrast here is so brilliant. When you put an example like hope right up against a non-example like doubt, you instantly get a much deeper, more useful understanding than any simple definition could ever give you.
All right, on to tool number 2, weighing evidence with the T-chart. Now that we can get our heads around individual words, let's zoom out a bit to the author's arguments. And for that, the T-chart is going to be your best friend. The real power of the T-chart is just how simple it is. On one side, you put what the text actually says, the hard evidence. On the other side, you put your own thoughts, your analysis, your opinions. That separation is absolutely crucial for building a strong, evidence-based argument and making sure you're not just making stuff up. And look how practical this is. On the left, you drop in a direct quote from the text, citation, and all. Then, on the right, you respond to it. This simple little action forces you to ground your own opinion in what the text actually says. It's a total game changer for your writing. Okay, so we've tackled words and we've tackled arguments. Now it's time to zoom out even further with our next tool, the main idea web. This is how you find the central message, the absolute core of an entire text. Think of this as a 3-step process. First, you find the topic. That's usually the main noun you see over and over. Second, you figure out the main idea. What's the author's key message about that topic? And third, you go hunting for the details the author uses to prove their point. Let's walk through an example together, using a text about classroom policies. After a quick read of that section, it's pretty clear what the central topic is: the use of generative AI in class. Okay, that's our starting point. So with generative AI as our topic, we start looking for those key details. And boom, this quote is a perfect one. It's a direct, really powerful statement that pretty much forms the core of the whole policy. And here's a second detail. This one clarifies how to follow the rule. See how this works? When you put these details together, the main idea just clicks into place. What is it? That using AI is basically misconduct unless you get specific permission. The bottom line here is clear. Always ask first. And now it's time for our final and, I think, most powerful tool, the summary paragraph chart. We've learned how to break a text down into all its little pieces. Now let's learn how to put it all back together in a clear, concise summary. Here's what people always seem to get wrong about summaries. They aren't just a shorter version of the original text.
A great summary is a synthesis. It has to be in your own words, and it has to focus only on the absolute most important stuff: the topic, the main idea, and those key supporting details. And just check out this process. Do you see how it builds on everything we've just learned? It's all connected. You use that main idea web to find the core message and details. Then comes the really critical step. You have to paraphrase. You have to rewrite those key ideas in your own words before you try to combine them. And here's a pro tip. Use a chart like this to organize your thoughts before you even start writing the final paragraph. State the central idea, then translate each key detail into your own words, one by one. This turns what seems like a really intimidating task into a simple, totally manageable process. So, after working through these 4 organizers, you're not just walking away with a few filled-out charts. You've actively built a complete comprehension toolkit that you can carry with you into any classroom for any subject. Let's put it all together one last time. The Frayer model helps you master the words, the T-chart helps you analyze the arguments, the main idea web gets you to the core message, and the summary chart helps you put it all together. Each tool has a specific job, and when you use them together, you're ready for any reading challenge they throw at you. And I really want you to remember this. These organizers aren't just busy work. They're not just another assignment. They are real strategies to make you a more active, a more strategic, and a more confident reader. They are the tools that turn that feeling of confusion into real, solid comprehension. So, we've equipped you with a really powerful set of tools. We've handed over the keys. The only question left is, what complex text are you going to decode first? Go on, give them a try, and see the difference for yourself.